When you think of breaking a record, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Do you think of sports, amazing food, perhaps the tallest or shortest man? For many, however, they think of speed. Cars, boats, fighter jets. These are the first things to come to mind when those people think of speed. For a select few, though, the first thing that comes to mind is a train. Large, complex mechanical feats that most take for granted or perceive as a childish fantasy. They underestimate these beautiful machines and how much they can push that needle. One man who understood the potential of steam and steel was Sir Nigel Gresley, and not only was he able to push the boundaries of what a steam locomotive could do, but he was able to prove that they could do it in style.
Gresley designed the A4 class locomotive in 1935 for the purpose of hauling the new streamlined train that would run between King's Cross Station in London and Newcastle. The new service was created in celebration of the 25th year of King George V's reign and dubbed the Silver Jubilee. The inspiration of the class's design came from a locomotive Gresley had seen during a trip in Germany he took in 1933. It was a high-speed streamlined diesel called the Hamburg Flyer, which ran under the nickname of the Flying Hamburger. The LNER considered purchasing similar locomotives for the trek from London to Newcastle, but Gresley was sure that steam could do the job just as well with a decent fare-paying load behind the locomotive. Following trials in 1935 with A3 number 2750 Papyrus, which recorded a new maximum of 108 miles an hour and completed the journey in just under 4 hours, the LNER Chief General Manager Sir Ralph Wedgwood authorized Gresley to produce a streamlined variant of the A3. Though similar to the A3s in principle, the A4 had internal streamlining to the steam circuit, higher boiler pressure, as well as the extension of the firebox to form a combustion chamber, which all contributed to a much more efficient locomotive. Reduced consumption of both coal and water were the result of the improvements made to the design. Unlike the A3s, which needed smoke deflectors to divert wafting smoke from the driver's view, the A4s never had this problem from the start. A further improvement was the fitting of the Kyle-Chap double chimney, which was first introduced on 4468 Mallard, built in 1938. The double chimney was such an improvement that it was fitted to every single member of the class by the late 1950s. Though they were fitted with streamlining side skirts designed by Oliver Bulleid, the skirts were required to be removed during the Second World War to improve access to the valve gear for maintenance.
Initially, 4 locomotives were built in 1935, and their names were picked to keep with the theme of the Silver Jubilee service. The first built was number 2509 Silver Link on September 7th, followed by number 2510 Quicksilver on September 21st, 2511 Silver King on September 5th, and finally number 2512 Silver Fox on December 18th. With the success of the Silver Streaks, a nickname given to the class by affectionate train spotters, other streamlined services were introduced, such as the Coronation, which ran from London to Edinburgh, and the West Riding Limited, resulting in the necessity for more A4s. Through their lifetime, no other British locomotives have a longer and more consistent record of high speed, able to maintain 100 miles per hour on the nice long length of the express lines. It is also recorded that some of the class were able to peak out at 113 miles per hour on more than one occasion. Indeed, Gresley knew how to make a beautiful and powerful machine. This is why what I'm about to tell you saddens me. There are only 6 of these glorious locomotives in preservation today. That's right, 6. Can you guess which ones? They are as follows: number 60019 Bittern, number 60009 Union of South Africa, number 60010 Dominion of Canada, number 60008 Dwight D. Eisenhower, number 60007 Sir Nigel Gresley, and the most famous one of all, number 60022 Mallard. I will bet you anything that if you ask any rail fan what comes to mind when you think of an A4, they will answer with Mallard. Mallard is the holder of the fastest record for any steam locomotive. On July 3rd, 1938, as the first of the class to enter service with a Kyle-Chap double chimney, Mallard and her crew set out with the same consist as Flying Scotsman: 6 passenger coaches and 1 dynamometer car. Hauling 240 tons behind her, Mallard was able to hit a speed of 126 and claim a record worthy of the nation. Gresley, however, never accepted this as the record-breaking speed. Though he was happy the German speed record had been surpassed, he was adamant that the speed could only have been attained over a few yards and that the locomotive had far more potential. Though the German train claimed the record on a level grade and MacLeod used a downhill run, most forget the fine detail that the German train was only pulling 4 coaches with a total of 197 tons. Prior to the run, it was calculated that it was possible for MacLeod to hit 130 miles per hour, but according to the driver of the run, it needed to slow down for Essendine junctions. Gresley had planned to have another attempt at the record in September 1939, but this was prevented by the outbreak of World War II.
Built on October 30th, 1937, number 4498 rolled out of Doncaster Works as the 100th Gresley Pacific constructed, including the A3s. It was this locomotive that was to take the name of Bittern. However, thanks to an LNER enthusiast working at the Railway Correspondence and Travel Society, the fact that it was the 100th of Gresley's Pacific locomotives was spread, and thus a suggestion was made that 4498 be named after the designer himself. In preservation, she is the only member of the class to wear British Rail passenger-lined blue livery, and is authorized for mainline use under her British Rail number 60007. The 3 locomotives to remain in the LNER Garter Blue livery are MacLeod, Bittern, and Dominion of Canada. While Bittern is in use on the Mid-Hants railways, MacLeod is a static display at the National Railway Museum in Britain, and Dominion of Canada was given to a gift to Canada from the UK. She sits as a static display at the Canadian Railway Museum. Dominion of Canada wasn't the only gift given by Britain. In its British Rail Brunswick Green livery, Dwight D. Eisenhower sits as a static display in the National Railroad Museum in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's right, we Americans can go to Green Bay to visit one of the greatest feats of British engineering without having to cross the pond. Another of the A4s in Brunswick Green livery, Union of South Africa, is also mainline approved and currently resides doing rail tours across country. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Time to take a look at the game models. Unlike other locomotives, you don't just get 1 or 2 locomotives to play with when you purchase the pack. You get 6. Every single one of the preserved A4s are present in this pack. That's right, all 6 streaks are here and they look beautiful. Do I even need to say it? No detail unturned, be it their separate liveries, nameplates, numbers, or cabs. When it comes to the whistle, it sounds a little too high, but that is nitpicking when it comes to the A4s. Now I know what the question is running through your head. What about speed? Can these locomotives keep up the legendary record? Not only can they keep up with their records, they can beat them. Light engine Sir Nigel Gresley peaked at 135 with MacLeod hitting 144. Hauling a 7-coach contest behind them as they normally would, they both peaked at 117. As if on Sir Nigel Gresley's wishes, the only scenario that comes packed with these glorious engines is a speed run for each of them. As if to say, can you beat the record? Give it a try.
When it comes to the A4s, no. When it comes to every Gresley design, you think of the perfect mix of beauty and ability. Like a well-trained thoroughbred horse, these machines can stretch the limits and push boundaries. The A3s, the V2s, the A4s. With every single class, we have always talked about how they pushed one boundary or another and showed not only a nation, but a world that the only limit is by what you perceive as a limit. Here is a man who saw what others called hunks of metal and turned them into art. Here is a man who saw what others called old-fashioned and turned it into a record breaker. Here is a man who understood just what steam could do and decided to push it just that extra inch to see what could happen. As I'm writing this, I can't help but crack into a smile, because these aren't just locomotives. These aren't just a silly man's hobbies. These are a tribute to the crowning achievement of one of the greatest locomotive designers in history. Without him, we wouldn't have these glorious engines today and the legacies they earned over the decades. Thank you, Sir Nigel Gresley. Thank you.